Hi, this is Brandon Moon with Leland Fly Fishing. I want to welcome you to Fly Tying Night tonight. Tonight we're going to be tying up a Pink Albert Last Chance Cripple. We're going to tie this up a little bit different, but first of all, the Pink Albert is basically a PMD fly here in the west on a lot of our rivers, especially the South Fork and the Henry's Fork of the Snake River. A lot of the PMDs will hatch with a little bit of a pinkish hue to them. Therefore, they call him the Pink Albert. So with that, we're going to go ahead and invite you to like our video today. Make sure you leave us a comment, subscribe, and the bell to receive future notification. If you get any kind of value out of this video or any of our videos, if you do this, it would help us out a great deal, and we greatly appreciate it. For the hook on this that we're going to be using tonight is the Moonlit Premium Tagada. We're going to use the ML 102. We're tying in a size 16. Tie this for the PMDs in a size 14 and 18 as well. And we're just going to lay a nice foundation with our 12-aught shell pink thread from Semperfly. So the classic wax 12-aught shell pink thread. So I've laid a nice good foundation body to that. Now I'm going to take some dark dun CDL, and I just want, I don't know, maybe 4 or 6 fibers in here. It's not a big bushy tail, just a small one, real thin. I'm going to measure that out to be the length of the hook shank. So now I'm just going to take and tie that in. Whenever you're tying tails, it's always beneficial to be too long versus too short. Because if you're too short, you can't lengthen it, but if it's too long, you can always adjust it just a little bit. So now I've got that kind of tied down, not all the way, but I'm going to take a strand of Semperfly micro glint in the yellow. Okay, this just has a nice shear to it. It's going to splay out really good. And I'm going to tie this down so that it goes roughly about halfway down that tail. And you can see I didn't go forward and then tie it in. I'm trying to conserve adding extra bulk to this pattern. Not really big bulky flies, so I don't want to add unnecessary bulk by adding materials. So I'm going to set that micro glint to the side for my next one. I'm going to go to that 3/4 point where I tied in. Now I'm just going to finish securing. I'm going to wrap back to that tie-in point in the bend of the hook. I want to pull some thread up underneath that hook just so that I'm helping to support that tail. Okay. For the bite on this, we're using Magpie's Premium Wild Barred Turkey Bite, Pink Albert. One of their few new colors. Really, really cool color here. So like always, I'm going to tie this in, and I'm going to tie it at a little bit of an angle with the ridge part facing the bottom of the hook. Now I'm just going to secure that down, and as always, I'm going to create a little bit of a taper with my thread. And this is a personal preference. You don't have to do this, but I do it because it gives me more confidence, because I like how my fly looks. So not because I feel like you have to catch fish, but for me it works more effectively because I'm more confident in the way I feel the fly looks. So now I've got that. I'm just going to half hitch this here. I don't do this, but you can. You can just lay down a little bit of head cement or super glue right there, and that's going to help secure down this biot as you're wrapping and make it a little more durable as well. I'll take my Hackle pliers and I'm going to start wrapping this, and I want this biot to have the ridge facing the back side of this hook as I wrap, so that I get a nice, even, clean profile. We'll just wrap this all the way up into that 3/4 point. Always looks like you're wrapping it too far, but trust me, you're not. Now I'll go back behind it, in front of it, behind it, and in front of it again. I like to set my thread off to the side when I snip this out, just so that I don't cut my thread, which I've done many a times. So now that's trimmed out. I'm just going to make sure and secure that down. I'm going to put a nice thread base down on this because I'm going to tie in some snowshoe. So I'll go back to that 3/4 point. I'm going to take a little bit of shrimp pink kapok dubbing from Semperfly. And I'm just going to create a small little bump there on that thorax, just before the thorax. So now you can see I've still got 3/4 of that hook. Instead of CDC, we're going to use some dark dun snowshoe hare's ear. So I'm going to take a small clump. I'm going to cut that out. It's really not a big clump, and I'm going to trim and pull out and clean out these guard hairs on it. I want that nice and clean so that I don't have the added fluff that I'm trying to secure down. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to change it so that it's going forward on that. Now I'm going to measure this. Some of these fibers are a little longer, so I'm going to remove a few of them. They're not going to be even because I'm not going to stack this. I'm going to measure that to be roughly about the length of the hook shank. Now I'm just going to take and tie this in. And we'll wrap that up. I want to make sure that I don't crowd that eye. So I'm going to stand up that thread or that snowshoe just a little bit. Push some of those shorter fibers up. Now I'm going to go back in front, 2 more wraps. Now we can go back to where we're going to tie in our hackle. Now I'm just going to trim right at the back side of that dubbing. We'll trim that snowshoe off. I've got a medium dun whiting hen saddle. Okay, I'm going to tie this shiny side facing me towards the front, and I'm going to secure this down. And I want this hackle stand to be standing up. I'm going to stand it and go behind it one time to help stand that fiber up. Now we'll just wrap this forward It's going to be about 3 wraps. We'll secure that down. 2 wraps. Now I'm going to pull everything back again. We'll do 2 wraps. Now I'm going to whip finish. There's 3 turns. We'll do 2 more, just for a good security measure. Now that's secured in nice and good. You can trim that out or you can pop it off. We'll just pop that off today. And here you have a last chance Cripple, snowshoe Cripple pattern for Pink Albert PMD mayfly. The snowshoe is a great alternative to CDC. It's going to be just as buoyant, water repellent. It's going to hold those nice air bubbles, and it's also going to be more durable as well. So make sure you check out the snowshoe hare's foot, and we appreciate your support. If you find any value in this video, make sure that you like the video, make sure you leave us a comment, hit subscribe and the bell to receive future notification. We appreciate your support. Have a wonderful evening.